Uda, check I'm audible on both the links or not.
Yes, yes, you are.
Link 1, I'm audible. Have you seen my presentation entire screen? Okay, share. I'll go to the first present now. Entire screen. Click this, I say share. Can you see both the thing on both the sides? Hold on. I think it will go through now. So both the side is visible. Hold on. Now it is visible on the main this thing also. Now main screen. Okay, so I will put it on the main screen. Hold. What I have to do is. Hold on, please. Okay, I am all on this same. Fine. Should not be a problem. Okay. So I will keep it on only. I will not disconnect now. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yes. Now it's okay. Okay. Fine. Thanks a lot. I have no problem. It's only 10 o'clock. 10:30 was the time. Na? People will come or have they come already? Okay. Okay. I have no problem. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Soumya, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Now am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So 1 minute, sir.
Yes, now it is audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Am
So
I
we'll
audible
skip
on
to the
both the
time.
links?
Yes, Huda.
Am I audible on both the links?
Yes, you guys are audible on both sides. So just we'll start in as per our time at 10:15. We'll be starting. I'll just set up everything. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Then everyone please mute and I request that those who have joined on both the links. So Okay, so Huda and Sobia, ready?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Huda,
Yes, sir.
Huda, unmute yourself on both the sides.
So can we start?
Just a moment.
Okay. A very good morning to all dignitaries, guests, delegates, and students with great joy and immense exaltation who are attending this seminar online. I, Huda Sheikh,
And I, Sobia Khan.
feel privileged to extend our warm welcome to everyone presented here for the second day of 2021, a two-day international seminar on innovative practices in information technology and business management. Thank you.
Mark Twain once said, India is the cradle of human race, the birthplace of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most artistic materials in the history of man are treasured up in India only. So let us start our second day of the international seminar with national anthem. We request everyone to kindly stand up for our national anthem. We request our tech support team to kindly project the same.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मङ्गलदायक जय हे पालक भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Please settle down. Our program is about to start in few moments. Thank you.
Huda?
Good morning to one and all. I, Sobia Khan, welcome everyone to the first session of the day 2 for Checkmate 2021. The topic of this session is automation in auto industry, and the honorable speaker for this first session is Dr. Umesh Deshpande. I now request Ms. Aisha Haq to introduce our today's guest speaker.
It's a great honor for me to introduce Dr. Umesh Deshpande. Sir is an industrious and methodical professional with focused customer-oriented approach and a zeal to win. Sir has achieved success by having entrepreneurial approach and by co-creating. Sir believes in having a clear purpose in delivering results, encouraging and inculcating learning and empowering the team. Sir is currently associated with Mercedes-Benz India Private Limited as General Manager for Operations Logistics, where he is leading and guiding the team in achieving logistics KPIs. Sir also oversees the complete process of supply chain management for module suppliers and guiding them in increasing productivity and reduces costs. Sir also ensures smooth startups of aggregates such as engine, axle, cockpit, flooring and seat. Sir is also responsible for plant and module supplier logistical claims and packing improvement from parts from DAG. We are honored to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, Aisha. Before going ahead, some general instruction for the participants. The seminar is managed and monitored by the college officials, so please maintain the decorum. Whenever you are interacting with our guest, it is expected that your cameras will be on. If you have any doubts or any query, so kindly drop your query in the chat box. At the end of this session, the answer will be given by the resource person collectively. Now, I request Dr. Umesh Deshpande sir to start with his session. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I hope I'm audible now. Hello. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. So, first of all, let me thank Allana Institute of Management and Sciences to giving me this opportunity. I would like to thank Dr. Inamdar and his team, and also I would like to thank Dr. Roshan Kazi for giving me this opportunity to talk to such enthusiastic and bright students. It gives a very pleasure always. It's a great pleasure to be a part of Allana Institute, and also guidance from Dr. Kazi is very appreciated. So let me first, without wasting any time, I will start giving you a basic concept of what is automation in industry. Here, what I expect is it's a general overview of what automation does in an industry, how it increases the productivity. As we have, I think, 45 minutes, half an hour to 45 minutes, I will run through different points. First is the process flow industry, what industry, how process works, automation in manufacturing, that means robots in industry. What robots are playing a major role? I will like to show you one video of that, and I will like to explain you how robots are taking over the most dangerous and important work in the industry. And automation in logistics. Now, logistics is one of the very important aspects of industry, especially in auto industry, which has come up over a period of time. Previously, it was never given a very big importance. Now, over a period of time, the last 3 to 5 years, logistics is one of the key factors in improving the efficiency, reducing the costs. So, what are facts about logistics? I will like to tell you advantage of automation in logistics and type of automation in logistics, which are being done all over the world. So this will be the basic overview and agenda of the for the talk, what we will be having. First of all, process flow in industry. How does an industry work? So if you see on the left side is the raw material. So the raw material is procured by any industry from here I've shown steel rolls. So suppose somebody has to produce some steel metal. So the company has to procure the steel rolls or the steel material from the industries. Maybe it may be JSW Steel, Tata Steel, any steel company. The industry processes this raw material into a finished good. Now, this is very important. It is an end-to-end process where it can be, if it is a tier one company, it finishes the small products or the products which he will give it to the next level of industry, which will assemble the part. In automotive, there are tier one, tier two suppliers who give different types of components to make the main component. For example, engine. So crankshaft is made by, in India, if you see, Bharat Forge is one of the biggest companies which makes crankshaft. So they will make the crankshaft. That's the tier one company. They will give it to one engine manufacturer like Cummins or Tata Motors or Mercedes world over, and they will produce the end product is the engine. Now, once this product, any product is manufactured, it goes to a warehouse. Somewhere it has to be stored, properly stored for distribution. This is one of the most important point is this warehouse's play is for regulating the material flow, also keeping in demand how much stock they have to hold from the customer. The demand fluctuation happens for an automobile industry. If I would like to give an example, March and September are the two peaks where the demands are very high because of registrations of more cars, and especially also the Diwali season is very important, where any festival season which comes is the when people go and buy vehicles. So they have to, now this is here the warehouse. It can be a bigger warehouse or a smaller warehouse. The warehouse has to store the parts or the product and keep it ready for the customer to come and pick it up or deliver to the dealers where it can be distributed or sold to the customer. And then comes is the transportation. Now transportation is a very important factor because India is a big country. Yes, sir. I have already shared, sir. Are you not able to see that? I will again. Okay, now I have. Can you see the presentation now?
No, sir, your screen is not visible.
Not visible?
Lubna ma'am, on link 1, it is not visible?
Link 1, it's not visible? No, sir. On this particular link, it is not showing.
Let me check. From my side, it shows actually.
It's being visible on a small window.
Yes, actually, participants, please note that sir is sharing on both the sides. So you have to enlarge that. You have to pin the presentation. You have to pin the presentation so it will come on the full screen. Lubna ma'am, is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible now.
Okay, yes. Please pin
Now both the sides, is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible on both the sides.
Now, can you just confirm once again? I have made a full slide.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you. So I will just run through again. I've the for the benefit of everybody who has not seen it, for what we're going to see. Uh, Now my agenda point is this slide visible
Yes, sir.
on both the links? Okay. So I what I said is a process flow in industry, which will be the first point which I'll be covering. Automation in manufacturing, robots in industry, basically what how robots are contributing in manufacturing. Automation in logistics, as logistics is one of the most important parts now in the world for companies to monitor their efficiencies, productivity, and also controlling the cost. So I will just give you facts about what is logistics, then advantage of automation and types of automation in logistics. So this will be the 4 points which I will be covering basically. Now, process flow in industry. Now, as I said, raw material is being procured from different sources. I have shown here a steel. Somebody has to make some steel vessels or steel material or utensils, anything. So, any type of raw material which is required by industry is procured from the market in-house, that means in India or abroad, and then it will be processed in an industry to make the final product. For example, what we in Mercedes do is we procure this from all over the world, and because we have different plants which supply different models of cars, so we get material from Germany, we get material from SUVs from Europe, sorry, US, and also some parts from China, because our plant is also in China. So we get all this material from all over the world. Also the consumables, like we get different types of glues which are required for glass from Germany. These are also imported. A lot of material we get in India, and so accordingly to the different suppliers we coordinate. And we have about more than in India more than 75 suppliers who keep on supplying us the material to make the final car. Now warehouse, as I said, is the one which stores the finished goods, which in turn, as I said, two peaks are there in auto industry. One is March and one is September. This is basically for registrations, and also one peak comes where there are festival season. So these three peaks we can say are the one where maximum sales goes up. In that case, the warehouses have to have the capacity to hold the cars in place, different, because there are different models, different types, and everybody has a different choice, different colors, different, maybe with the diesel, petrol. It can be non-AC, AC, fully loaded, partially loaded, automatic, manual. So different configurations are there. So warehouses have to have that kind of capacity for an industry, depending on which market are they operating. For example, if it is India, they have to have different locations in India, as India is a big country, to distribute their products to the customer in time, because customer is finally king, and customer, if it doesn't get the product in time, he is not happy, and once a customer is not happy, your sales will never increase. So warehouse plays also a very important role in distribution. From there it goes to transportation. Transportation is very important because the transporter has to take the material from the warehouse to the dealerships or to the customer directly, and in time and in a good condition. So transporter till now, nobody takes, gives a very big importance to transportation. But if you see, transportation plays a very major role in taking the time, because transportation, if it is in higher lead time, then also you have a problem, because then your lot of material is stuck up, your inventory costs go up. Transportation with minimum cost and maximum speed is preferred by any industry. So transportation with the correct goods, correct type of a truck, correct type of transport mode, maybe it is truck, rail, or air freight, has to be finalized by the respective companies. Pharma companies mostly prefer mm, air freights, because they are perishable goods and they are a very high value, and they are life-saving drugs. For auto or for mechanical industries, it can mostly be heavy parts, big parts. So shipping industry, for if it is abroad or in India, if finished good has to be done, then trucks are mostly used. In Europe, transportation is done by trains. If you see YouTube, if we are in our plant, we have in Sindelfingen, we have a big train station where a train comes in, and we load the cars and send it to Bremerhaven or all over Germany. Then comes the distribution network. Now, the distribution network plays also a very important role, because once the product reaches, it has to be distributed to different dealers or retailers, or to direct customers from distribution points. So you should have a very clear distribution point demarcation, which territory the dealer or the retailer has to operate. And because there may be undercutting of prices, there may be a concentration of more dealers in one, doesn't help. So the company has to have a clear policy of distribution and a good network for distribution of their products. And then goes to the point of sales, where the customer comes and happily takes the product home. Here, if you see in the round, how the flow of product goes from the left to the right, where the product is being delivered, but the information flows from the sales point back to the last raw material procurement. Because as the demand fluctuates, each of the processes have to be optimized in order to have the smooth chain. If one of the processes fails, for example, industry doesn't stop producing, then you have huge inventories, you have cash flow problems, you have storage problems, your warehouses are full, your transportation doesn't know which one to pick up, and there's a big chaos in that. If the information comes late, then the industry keeps procuring less material. If you have less material, you have a shortage in the market, and the customer is not happy, because customer nowadays is not ready to wait. He wants everything instant. So this point of flow of information from point of sales back to the industry to the planners have to be very, very quick and fast. So there are different ways, like you have SAP system, you have different concept, we have retails or sales, what you must have read in the market, that every information and what is the trends, you have forecasting, you have a sales department which forecasts accordingly. The material planners plan their material well in advance in order to supply the market in time. So this is how a process flow in an industry works. Next is automation in manufacturing. Can you see this robots in industry, this slide of mine? Okay. So now basically what robots does is, in area of applications, picks up and place task. So basically nowadays, when there are very high uh, means high intensity or a high timing or less timing and high volume production, then to pick up a part and to place, if it is a bigger part, for example in a press shop, the speed of the press shop is very fast. So you have to pick up the metal and put it into the press and take out the pressed part, which I will show you in one of the videos now. And then pick up in place, there's a robot which continuously does the same thing, and with a high speed and consistency and perfection. So this is pick up and place, one of the tasks what robot does. Welding is another process. It's a very hazardous process. Second thing, it requires a lot of precision. It requires a lot of speed, and also uh, it requires a lot of finishing, or the welding quality has to be very perfect and of the same dimension. So welding is one area where extensively KUKA robots are being used. If you happen to visit any of the bigger automotive plants, then, or you can come to our place, we have special welding and also robots for a process called nailing. Nailing is a different type of process where you just put a nail across the body, and it's a very high impact and very high decibel level process, and it has to be done in exclusive area. So no human being can do it. So we use for welding and uh, for this nailing robots. Then comes the painting. Paint shop is a whatever a customer sees when he buys a car. Then paint is the one, the color which he sees, and the finish is the most important part. The first thing before he drives the car, he sees. So painting is one of the most important factors in automobile, where a precision equipment is required, uh, which then paints the vehicle from inside and outside. It's a very precise process. Also, it has to be very much controlled process, because this leads to the total destruction of finish if it is not done properly. Also, it saves a lot of cost and time. Both the things are very, very important. So here in Mercedes-Benz India, we have there are 6 robots for doing painting, and we have 7 axes. There are different types of robots which can use 6 axes, which are fixed, but having 6 axes. We have 7 axis robots which can move across the line of length of the car and do the precise painting of the car internally and outside, uh, and give a fantastic finish. So you can see a Mercedes car which shines outside in the market. Assembly process, where there's a high volume of uh, production, then you have to have a bigger parts like cockpits, like glass. You can have to be fixed by the robots, where there's a high precision for the glue application, placing, because the glass is heavy, and also to place it on the car in that limited time of 60 or 80 seconds, whatever the cycle time is decided by the company. Finally, now the new concept of inspection has started coming. For paint and other things, you have different. BYK Gardner is one of the companies which do the paint, which gives the equipments for paint inspection. But this is a very big process, and where the car length is bigger, and humans cannot continuously keep doing the job. So repetitive jobs have to be done by the robots, and robots play a very major role here in inspecting the car also. So there are a lot of predefined criteria which have been fed into the system, which then the robot performs repeatedly. I will like to show you a video here before I do that, where you can see how you can. I will show you a video from. Is it visible? Right? Can you see the video now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is how basically a process is done for welding, where the parts are also placed by the uh, robot. Just a minute, it is buffering. Yes, why did it stop? So basically, just a minute. So you can see this. So now you can see in this process how the robots weld the process in the respective areas. So this is the stud welding robots, and this is replacing a human being. So if you see this black, my cursor, if you're able to see, if you see the black spots, these are the studs which Mr. wiring harness are different. So this is a line how it looks like. There are no human beings, and the indexing also is, this is automated, where the next, once the process is finished, the next car comes in for welding process. Now you can see also the assembly part of it is also done in the weld shops with this process. And we will see how a spot welding is done here, because a car is being designed, or basically is made by doing spot weldings. So this is the side fixture is totally automated. You can see it holds the outer side of the body, and if you can see the equipment coming now here, you can see the smoke coming. These are the small spots being welded onto the body, and you can see the sparks being flying on that. So how this is important, because uh, these are the specific spots and the specific dimensions have to be welded, and the car has to then go. It looks very simple, but it is a very complex process, because it has to run. Now you can see here, it has to run in a very, very important. Now this is called as riveting. Now there will be pushed. You can see there. You can see a plunger coming out, and it rivets the small area. And now you can see the spot welding coming in here. These are the two arms of the spot, and you can see the smoke, and it burns and joins of the car. So these are the robots which have been used, and now it comes to the assembly. We'll take a minute for buffering. Sorry for that, but hold on. You will see now the assembly process. I will just show you the assembly process here. Can you see that now the car comes in, and now this cockpit, if you see on the left side, is the cockpit which has to be assembled onto the car, and it's a very heavy item. It weighs about 700 kgs, 6 to 700. We in India do it with a semi-automatic, where a person just assists. Here the high volume, it just picks it inserts, and then the robot also does puts the screws also to that. And done. It is done. It will come out. So it is just finished the cockpit assembly of the car. So these are the some processes which I wanted to show you. I will just show you one more thing here. Now you can see the assembly of this process very properly. Now this is how it slowly comes out without damaging anything and fits a cockpit into a car. Simultaneously, it does a lot of things. So you can see a glass being, now if you see a glass, this is a glue process where the glass first is getting glued, and now it puts the glass onto the car. So the front windshield, how it is fitted like this in the very high volume plant. So this is an A-class Mercedes-Benz plant at Rastatt, which is now every day you produce about 2,200 cars there, and the car then now you can see how it glues and puts the glass automatically. It has replaced all the human beings precision item because the tolerances are in millimeters. So I'll go back to my PPT. Oh, something wrong. So I'll stop this PPT. I will go back. So this is how we. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. So this is basically I wanted to just show you how a robot replaces a human being in welding, painting. Painting they are not shown here, but assembly and inspection. Hello.
So the screen is not visible.
You can see. Okay.
No, sir,
Again.
it is not visible. We can't see.
Okay.
Hello.
Now
Sir,
yes, you could see the YouTube video.
Sir, your PPT and
Could
your
you see the
video is not visible.
Okay, hold on. I'll present again.
Ma'am, please pin the presentation. Please pin the presentation because here on our systems, it both the sides, sir's screen is visible. So I guess if you can just pin it.
Is it visible now? Okay, so both the sides.
Meenal madam.
I hope you could
Yes,
see.
yes, it is visible on both the sides.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Both the sides. You could see the video which I showed you. Was that also visible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, fine. So now what I will like to tell you is about the advantages of that. So basically what it is, the safety, because these are very hazardous processes. So the safety plays a very important role for human being, and there is no human intervention. So it's a safe process and you can finish the process at this very high speed. You could see that within 20 to 25 seconds, you could fit a glass, you could do the welding and the cars can go out. Consistency is a very important aspect because the precision in cars is not even in 0.2 millimeters, 0.1 millimeters is the tolerances which are there. So consistently you have to keep doing the same process, which sometimes humans fail to do that, and that is the reason that then you need to have these robots. And finally is the perfection in manufacturing. These are the four main advantages what we see when we do use robots in industry. But this is basically how an automation in the industry happens in the production lines, which I wanted to show you. I will now go to the next slide. I showed you the video. I will go to automation in logistics. Now, let's go to logistics process. What are the facts about logistics? There is a very high volume of load being moved into and out of the storage. So basically what it does is is just a movement of load. There is no manufacturing logistics. Logistics is just transportation and warehouse and storing. So very high volume products, quantities keep coming in and keep going out of the any warehouse which is there. Storage density is important because of space constraint. Now, as the volume is very high, the space required also is very high. You know, the property costs everywhere in the world are towering, and then you need to have a high density of storing. For that, I will show you a video for automatic stacking machines. So we also in Mercedes have automatic stacking machines we call ASRS, automatic stacking and retrieval system, where we store about 500 bodies in a very small space vertically, same like what I will show you on a video. And this storage is very important because it saves cost, it saves human effort, and also it's a very safe way of storing the parts in a very small area in densely with very high density. No value is added in the process. Lesser the inventory, better it is, because there is no value addition while in logistics. Logistics is just a transport process. So higher the volume you keep, more the damages, more pilferages, more shelf life required is will be higher. So higher, lesser the volume, faster the movement of goods, better it is for a company, because warehouse is a cost center. That means it's a cost, it doesn't give you any revenue out. So the no value is added in process, no processing, only storage and transportation is the main concept which is dealt in logistics there. Actually, it's critical because potential expensive damage to the load. As I said, uh, critical because you have to have a very clear understanding that it should not be damaged. It has to be very properly stored in the place. So these are the few things which are the basic logistical process that we have. Now let's go to the advantage of automation in logistics. Now logistics conventionally, if you see, was picking up a part, then came the forklifts where people with the heavy parts are being lifted by forklifts and put in trucks. And over a period of time, the people did not first give a very big importance to uh, automation in logistics. But then as we see the volumes are increasing world over for anything, maybe it is Amazon, maybe it is Flipkart, it is it's Tata Steel, it's Mercedes, it's Tata Motors, it's any. So the volumes of the cars, volumes of the product being produced are increasing because the population and the demands in the markets are increasing. If you see India, the car demand, what was in 90s and in early 2000 was far lesser than what is today. The demand for the products or the online buying e-business was never there. Suddenly you see a big logistical center for Amazon coming in because the demand is increased. People want to buy more products. You can see the rush in the market or the rush in the malls to buy products. So these are the most important thing that the advanced automation in logistics was the most important part. It helped companies to cut expenses. First is expense. Every business now first thing checks, how is it profitable for me to do a high value investment? What will I get, and will it reduce my running cost? So if a robot is there in automation or vertical stacking, the human beings are required less. One time investment, only maintenance is the one which will have to only incur, but human dependency cost for the company is very less. So first it helps in companies to cut expense. First advantage, if it is cutting expense, then you will have this retrieval system. Minimizing the amount of unnecessary parts and product in storage. Now with this automation, it's not only the robotic but also the software which will come, which monitors what type of parts you are keeping, how many days shelf life it is there, whether it is a high moving item, it is a less moving item. So all, because inventory is cost. If you keep a product, it is cost. It may cost you 1 rupee, but into 10,000 parts, it will be 10,000 rupees. So the cost is very important. So minimizing the amount of unnecessary parts. So you to have bare minimum inventory to have a good warehouse or in logistics. Improving organizations of contents and more storage space due to high density storage. So the storage space, as I informed you, is required will be less, and you can store a space in less space, more product can be stored, like what we do in a very small space of not even 20,000 square feet, half an acre. We store more than 380 cars bodies, which doesn't have wheels. So this is all stacked in such a small area. So we save a lot of space and the cost for the company. Reduce labor costs by lowering workforce requirement, unnecessary and safety. So, and increasing safety. Uh, as I said, we reduce labor costs, and then people are safe because they are working from a distance in that, because these are big packages, small packages, people get hurt. There are accidents because of forklifts. There can be accidents because of the Betty stackers. So all this leads to accidents and cost, because then there's a stoppage and there is a loss of production, and also humans are in humans get hurt in that. So it reduces labor cost and also increases safety. Enabling a seamless tracking of link to order processing and logistic management. Now, order processing is, as you give an order to Amazon. Now you expect this product to come earlier to you. So how will this be tracked? Who is there behind in the back office? You have to understand, in the logistics process, Amazon is a logistic company. It doesn't produce anything. It just buys products from people, packs it, or they only pack it and it just ships it to you. It's a interface between the customer and the producer. Now what they do is processing the and tracking. So you, if you many times you track, okay, where is my product coming? So it gives a tracking. It is reached Pune. It is in the warehouse. Tomorrow morning you get an SMS. So all this tracking is enabled through this process. Order and pick up, pack and ship product to the other facility. All this, there can be transshipment. There can be shipment directly to your doorstep. Everything is seamlessly tracked and has to be tracked, because in order to give this product directly to your doorstep on time, most important in logistics is time. Many times there's no point if it doesn't come in time. Like you do Zomato is also a logistic company. It picks up, it doesn't make any food, it picks up food and it tracks it half an hour, it will be on your doorstep. Where is that driver or the two-wheeler guy? You can track it very easily and then say, okay, in 10 minutes I will get my product. There's no point if it comes 3 hours late, because your product, Zomato, your food has to be there in half an hour on your table. Control inventory levels, maximum use of warehouse space. As I said, do not keep unnecessary things which keep lying there for, because then it gets damaged. If it is a perishable good, it has a shelf life. So you have to have bare minimum inventory and maximum movement of goods from your warehouse. Firms are more prepared for the demand and supply of the market. So with this automation, companies are readily preparing themselves to supply the demand, because if you see a festival season, the demand in the market, suddenly Amazon gets a flood of, they have this Amazon sale for 3 days, 4 days. In that time, there is a huge demand generated. Now, how to cater to this demand is through this automation and these warehouses, because then these warehouses are capable of catering to the fluctuating demands. If there is a human being, there is a limitation to that. You cannot hire 100 people to hundreds of people who can be trained in that short time and do the process. Also, you should have space for them to work. So all this is not possible if it is human beings. If it is robotics, it is pre-programmed. It can work 24/7. Humans cannot work 24/7. You need to have an 8-hour shift, break, lunch. There's no lunch, no dinner for a robot or an automated process. So this is how advantageous it is if you have an automated logistic process. With this, I will take you to automation. What type of automation is done in logistics? If you see a picture on the right side, this is the ASRS automated storage and retrieval system. I'll show you a video of this also, which is an animated video, and AGVs. So basically, cranes are used allowing many levels of stock by stacking vertical and allowing the highest storage density. So what they do is use this type of a racking system where there are different types of forklifts or cranes which keep stacking the material, and your PC has a software which tells you what type of the part number, what type of material is stored in what location. Also, the location of the bin is also known, and if you give a command, it's an automatic cranes which go and pick up that part and bring it to the packaging center or transport area. If you see here in the picture, it is all packed. So it will just come out and then deliver. It can go to the truck. Automated guidance vehicles. Now AGV moves this item. Now in auto industry, now we have something called a kitting process. That means for every car on every station, you get a fixed what the operator has to fit. You get in a trolley the fixed amount of quantities. Now to transport that from the location we call it the kitting location to the location where it will be fitted on the car, you have to have either a trolley or a tugger or a small device which will take these trolleys to that location and bring the empty trolleys back. So the high volume plants have got automated guided vehicles. This is basically magnetic strips or barcode, the different types are being put on the floor, and these vehicles are pre-programmed. They take these trolleys to the respective location, and they have a program which runs at every 2 hours. We call it also milk run, where you keep on giving the parts, and every 2 hours it repeats the same process, or maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, depend on the company. So there are different types of robots or AGVs. We call this automated guided vehicles. It's a type of a robot. It has a pre-programmed route of operation. So these are then helpful to keep giving these parts to the line on time to produce the cars. Then comes conveyors. The conveyors are very important now. As I said, Amazon, they are different size of. If you see the boxes of or the packaging, what you have get a standard size of small or big packets, and also these packets have to be segregated. You can enter automated conveyors in warehouse either through a hard-coded rule data or to be moved on selection destinations. Each box, if you see the uh, package has a barcode. We from Germany, whenever we get this, we don't have a conveyor, but we have a barcoding system where we get the box number on that, and the operator just has to scan. As soon as it comes from the container out, he scans it. This data goes into our system that this material has been inverted. Now, where it has to be stored, operator doesn't know. So on the every forklift, we have a big screen and it gives us a location. So the operator doesn't have to use his head. He just takes the container to that place and stores it. Now the person sitting in the office or the logistic office knows that in this location there are 25 parts, and then he says, okay, that means the part has reached the location. If they reach the location, then he knows, okay, we have now, there were only 2 boxes, now 2 more have come. Each box has 6 pieces, so 24 pieces of this material in my inventory is already available. So there are different types of conveyor can be automated. We have a big volume, so we use forklifts, but the smaller volumes like Amazon or Flipkart, they have conveyors which segregate. They have barcodes, the barcode readers on the line. Same is if you can, I can give an example of our paint shop. Our paint shop is totally automated. So once you load the car, there is a skid below. The skid has a RFID reader. Once the car is coming in, we just punch in the number, we scan that it has a card along with it. It gives all the data to this RFID reader, and every conveyor has an RFID reader. So it knows where to take this car to the next station. It can go to sealant, from there it has to go to painting. Or if the person says it has to go to a rework deck, he just presses a button and the RFID reader knows, yes, now this kid along with this car has to go to a rework bay. So there's a different type of conveyors in this is also logistical process inside to move the cars from one place to another. So we have different type of conveyors guided by either RFID readers or different scanners or laser scanners also now. Yeah. So this is how the first game. I will show you a retrieval system first, and so that you get a little. I will show you a small video of a retrieval system, so you get an idea how what we are talking about. Give me a second. Yeah. Can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
Something the same kind we have for our ASRS also. You see the stacks on the left side. Now, how this product goes and gets segregated to which stack it has to be stored. There's a big crane on the left, which will come. So when it has to remove also, it gets a command and it goes and removes the product and gives it outside. So now it has taken it out from a different stack and then it is given out. So this is how it basically works. Am I audible now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you could see the video also. Hello.
Yes.
Did you see the video also?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I just needed this feedback because I don't know whether you're able to see it or not. So according my explanation is dependent on that. So you could see how an automated retrieval system works, and it is very easy for the operator to do that without having to do any human intervention, and a proper storage is possible in a very small area but high density you can achieve. We have something called a sorting system also, similar to this conveyor, but typically with a higher capacity, able to divert containers more quickly. So, as the material keeps coming in our German plants, we have this sorting system because every second car coming is a different car. Here in India, we make batch production because we are a completely knocked down CKD production plant. In Germany, you have a pre-programmed or pre-ordered cars. So you have to have a sorting system where every part which is coming, every second car coming is a different configuration car, and in that case you have to have a very high capacity sorting system where the material, for example the cockpits, are of different types for different cars. So the computer or the logistics process in this knows that this is the next production with the barcode has to go the third line or the fourth line. So accordingly, it sorts out and sends the parts to the different location. We call it the sortation systems, and how it this is how it works. Typically used for distributing high volume small cartons in a large set of locations. Here we are also using this in our plant in Germany. Industrial robots, which I showed you, 4 or 6 axis robots, palleting robots. Now these are also different types of robots used in logistics. I showed you the production. Same concept is used in palletizing and depalletizing and commissioning and order picking for by industrial robots in logistics. These were basically for fixed size of items, as we saw in the ASRS system. These robots can move into a different location, pick up the parts, and do the sub-assembly also of the parts. There are some in semiconductor industry. There are some robots which are required to move small chips from one conveyor to another conveyor. This is also a logistic process. So there are small robots which keep only doing this activity, one movement, for hundreds of hours together. So because it's a very high volume production, and these are the industrial robots we use. These are basically, they have now it is more advanced and they can automatically identify and track the containers using barcodes and RFID readers, as I said. So every robot has also scanners nowadays, which they can scan, and many robots now can even change the front tool of theirs. I did not show you here, but for different processes, because robots are very expensive, so they have now different tools to pick up the next part. suppose the box it is a square box, then you'll have a jaw type of a tool. If it is a round barrel, then you have a round type of a tool, which a robot automatically changes and gets the required tool for the required part which is coming on the conveyor to pick it up. So this is some industrial robots which we are there. We can also go for barcode and RFID system. As I said, you must be visiting the mall, and when you go to the counter, you have he does something like this on a metal piece, and you have a pin which comes out. This is basically nothing but an RFID reader. And when you are going out, you can see the white colored barriers on the left side placed vertically, and you cross, it beeps. It beeps like this. So it beeps, that means your RFID reader is still with your cloth. It's basically to track where your material is going. In a mall or in a shop, you have lot of clothes which can go, people pick it up and throw it somewhere else, and you can just scan it and see from which rack it was there. When you give this do the billing, and he takes out the RFID reader, he reads that RFID reader, because then this same barcode which is there on the tag is linked to that RFID, and it then when you scan the barcode, it reduces from the inventory water. So a person sitting in the headquarters or in the office knows now shirts of white colors are moving faster, and then we have to order more white color shirts. The stock of white color shirts has hit the lower minimum quantity, and you have to order more. So this is how it automates, and it automatically triggers. In MB India, we have a system where it automatically triggers it to the supplier outside. That means today I do a run, and we run a program every 2 hours or 3 hours, and we see, okay, small parts are getting depleted. So it automatically triggers a purchase order to my supplier, and he then knows, okay, tomorrow morning I have to, before 8 o'clock, I have to supply 10 boxes of these pins. Example, some pin is there, and these immediately come to the to the ramp. Next day morning the truck comes, or the evening the truck comes. The person outside doesn't know whether what this truck has. He just scans the barcode, and he sees on the screen that this pin was required, and yesterday the purchase order is gone, and he just inverts it. So there is no human communication required. This barcodes work fantastically for you, and also this RFID tags or RFID readers. So we have a very important RFID readers in our paint shop, also in our warehouses, because we handle something or the tune of 35 to 40,000 different part numbers, because every car has 6,000 parts of different part numbers. So, and we produce about 10 to 12 models at a time. We keep getting these parts, and when we identify with the barcodes and RFID readers. Motion check wares. Okay, there are some companies where these are used for reject and cases of individual products. Suppose you must have seen some videos of Coca-Cola, and you must have seen for biscuit Parle-G, where if it is empty, the can is moved out, or the packet is empty, then uh, that piece is just moved out of the conveyor, because it's a very high volume conveyor. It weighs individual products, and under over the specified weight, if the weight is overweight, it rejects the product. If the weight is below, it rejects. The conveyor has a sensor like this below. They're often using knitting conveyor lines, ensure all pieces belonging to the kits are present. That means these are the one which basic with kitting conveyors are more important, where they see that pack of 6 is going into the box of, for example, Parle-G. You get a box of pack of 6, pack of 8. So because the packaging machine is also automatic, it should not have that. It will give a empty wrapper only without the biscuits inside. So the weighing part is very important, where without any human intervention, you can just pack, and there's a 100% guarantee that you have given the customer correct quantity with the weight. Okay. And then mobile technology, radio antenna terminals. These are handled, or the truck mounted terminals, which I was telling you, which connect to the radio logistic automation software and provides instruction to the operator moving through the warehouse. This is what I was explaining you, that our forklift driver just scans on that, takes the container, because we get about 50 to 60 containers every day coming from world over, and we don't know what we have them packing list, but that is in the offices. Operators sitting on the forklift cannot bring is required by the line, he will take directly that box to the line and feeds the line for the parts. So these are some mobile technologies which we very effectively use. We have also some software integration softwares which are now very commonly used. These provide overall control of the automation machinery, allows cranes to be connected to conveyors and seamless stock movement. Now what we saw in ASRS, these are the cranes which are integrated with the software, which it knows what to pick from where and what to place it in which empty cell. So the conveyor knows that this is an empty cell and this part which is coming in has to go in that empty cell only, and gives the indication that it has been placed. So tomorrow when you have to retrieve it, he can just retrieve it on the same place. Operational control software is a low-level decision-making, such as where to store incoming container and where to retrieve them when requested. So this is also another operational. Now this was the ASRS, very automated system, but with our system, we have this software which is called operational control software, and we can see which material is stored where and when to retrieve it. We just tell it flashes on the forklift or a tugger, and he has to pull the material out from there. Business control software provides high level of functionality such as identification of incoming delivery stock, scheduling, order, fulfillment, and assignment of stock to outgoing trailers. So this is the final outbound logistics software where the incoming material, especially like Amazon, where they don't do any value addition. It is just coming in and going to the next maybe a container. Suppose the material is coming from Delhi, and somebody has ordered 25 pieces on the same supplier. It can be, say, a carpet, and these 25 pieces are going to different 25 locations in India. So they will go to a respective warehouse. From there, that warehouse will decide that this package is going to Pune, this is going to Chandigarh, this is going to Calcutta, and this person, or it can be an automated process, that it will assign it to the respective container, because there are different containers or the trucks standing to taking all the parts which are going to say the Pune. So they will now collect all the pieces from different suppliers to one consolidation center. From there, it will be routed to a container which is going to Pune, or a truck which is going to Pune. So like that we do in Germany is we keep getting material from different suppliers. For example, I'll give you, we get material from Rastatt plant, from Sindelfingen plant, from Bremen plant, from Graz also, and some suppliers directly. We had something called MVP system, medium volume plant. I was handling this for 1300 parts. So we keep running this, and different suppliers were sending this material to our Bremen consolidation center. From there, all these 1300 parts, we have different box configuration, and they knew that one container should have this 10 types of different parts because the boxes are different size. So it will fill up the containers. And we optimized the containers in such a way that we were asking for more bigger parts in 40 feet containers, because 40 feet containers and 20 feet containers, it doesn't have much of a difference in price. So what we did is we consolidated bigger parts in the bigger containers and smaller parts also in bigger containers, but with a lot of volume. So next month we were not ordering that. 1 month we were ordering extra, and 1 month we were not ordering extra. Now this business software gave us a benefit that instead of getting every month, say, 66 or 67 containers, we used to get 66 containers, but in a different configuration of material. And next month we used to get only 50 containers. That every alternate month, 10 containers means 60 containers in a year. We could save a hell of a lot of money in transportation, and we could optimize our process in India for producing the cars here. It can be in time. Also, we have less inventory, and so we control the inventory, we control the cost, we control the freight cost, and also the requirement of containers was also curtailed. So all this put with the business control software, I gave you just an example like this. So we have different softwares which work, and then you can achieve your goal and reduce cost. I think with this, I will come to an end of my presentation. Thanks a lot for giving me a patient here. Hello.
Thank
Hello.
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone have any questions?
Huda, Sobia, just please check the
So we
description
have
box.
questions in the chat box. Very first question, Mr. Sudhanshu Pan says, while every area has a potential for automation, as in logistic, automation will not work and why?
No, I did not get. Can you just repeat?
Okay, sure, sir. While
Yeah.
every area has a potential for automation, so which areas in logistics automation will not work and why?
Okay. Uh, See, logistics is a process where it is a high volume. Automation means what? Automation means if you have to automate a thing where there is a high volume and repeatability to be done. If it is a small area or a small company where it is a small product being shifted, then you don't need an automation because automation is very expensive. It has to have a return on investment coming in. It has to have a return on investment coming in. For that, their automation will not work. Some goods are there which you have to have a human hand touch. For example, if it is eatables, where you have to have some eatables have to be packed properly in a different some specific fashion, and they're very soft, then you need a human intervention there. uh, in that case, you cannot have automation that you can have a robot and it will make and it will pack it. So such things is required, where you have to see the cost also, and you have to see the what type of material is being handled. Yeah. Any other question? I hope I have answered the question.
Thank you, sir. And the second question is also from Sudhanshu Pansi. We have traffic jams, water clogging on the road, and many more situations. So, how will automation provide a better solution in such situations?
See, that is not an industry. But my subject today is industry. But automation, there is that you have to have different controls. There are a lot of places in the world where they see what type of sewage or stormwater drainage are being controlled, and they divert the water from different channels by electromagnetic, or they have different valves which do that. In paint shop, we do that. Not a choking, but specifically for when there are processes in paint shop in CD and PT where sometimes the churning of the water inside the tanks is required in a higher quantity. There we use an automated process where after a certain time there are different parameters. If they are not met of circulation, then the second pumps automatically starts. And we have three pumps. That means one, not one as a backup, but two as a backup. So second pump starts, and if we still feel that the water circulation is less, then it third pumps also starts, which is a bigger in size on both of this and attains that. And if it is going higher also, the circulation is higher, then the one of the pumps also shuts down on its own. So this is the way we have automated the process in our paint shop. In water drainage and this thing, I cannot say that, because in Germany, in some places they have this, they regulate the water flow from different channels. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I have 5 direct suppliers. I get floorings from different suppliers. I have 2 floorings, one at Rajguru, which is 60 kilometers from my plant. And this happens. If there's a heavy rain, there's a traffic jam on near Rajguru, this problem. So what I do is I have a schedule. So we have something called as ASF plus system, called a plus system. Now, as soon as PPC, our production planning control keeps giving a sequence. So that person knows that this sequence of I'll give an example of flooring here. Now this supplier is sitting 60 kilometers away from me, and he doesn't know what has to be produced. So he produces the sequence coming on the line, and we always give that sequence 1 day minus. That means if it is required next day morning, I give it 1 day minus. So if I give 1 day minus, I have all the material coming and getting stacked at my place by 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the evening. And the schedule is given in such a way that we have 2 shifts of unloading. My shifts work only one shift. So I don't have to have a very big space. So I keep slowly getting the trucks inside by till 11 o'clock in the night. And I keep unloading. So next day my lines are running. If there is a delay of 2 hours or 3 hours or traffic jam, I have taken care of my minimum inventory at my place. So I keep monitoring that, and I keep getting the material in. So this is how we have an automated system, and we monitor our sequence order. Suppose that I'll go one step ahead with this. Suppose there's suddenly a change in the sequence, and I don't get a container for assembly line from Germany. And there was a ship which got stuck in Suez Canal. Then I change my sequence on the plus system, and suddenly that my supplier knows that okay, now after this car, I have to now go to, say, if I'm producing a class, I have to go to a GLA class. So he sees suddenly in the system that the cars have changed, and then he puts his material, because that material is also lined up, but after a few days. But the material is there with him, and I know sitting here in my place that material is there, and he suddenly changes. So my line, which is there, which is producing the body, doesn't stop. Instead of A class, it makes a GLA, because my assembly line container has got stuck up somewhere in Suez Canal or behind Suez Canal. So this is how we automate and regulate our production. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have one more question from Anjul Ahmed. The question is, sir, will this automation take away the jobs, technical sector, and create unemployment? And how can we overcome this?
Okay. This is a very wrong myth that people have. Now you tell me, over a period of time, a lot of automation has taken place in different industry. Have you seen anybody losing his job because of automation? What happens is a person then adapts to if he is an operator who's actually working on the line, he then becomes an operator in the logistics area by enhancing his knowledge in computer and sits in the office and does the work. So because he knows the basic process, so this is an advantage to the company. Plus he has his job sitting in the office. So automation actually is a very wrong concept that takes away the job.
So anyone have questions? No questions? Okay, thank you, sir. So now I would like to request Ms. Nasmina Haliar to extend gratitude to Dr. Umesh Deshpande, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Huda. I express my gratitude to Dr. Umesh Deshpande for enlightening our students and participants on automation in auto industry. I also thank sir for sparing his valuable time and being the part of this 30th International Management IT Seminar, Checkmate 2021. I'm sure your ideas and thoughts will go along a way in developing us as management and IT professionals. Thank you, sir.
I think there was one question which has come. There's one question which has come. I could not read it. It just went and flashed and went off. Can you just read it for me? Yeah. This driverless car is right now in a very nascent stage everywhere in the world, where the regulations for different countries are different. It is level 3, level 4, level 5, depend on what type of automation levels you are looking out for. Now, we right now have no plan like this that I can see, because it depends on the government of India how the driverless car and their regulation and the rules come in. So right now, at least I don't know up to what not best of my knowledge is. Right now, India is not there prepared, and also the government regulations are not clear how to do this automation cars. But we are having electric cars coming in which we have already launched also. So EQC we have already launched, and our E-class, which you have right now. One automation I can, this is not an automation, but I can say is feature is that it has a distronics. It's also a different type of an automation, not a very advanced one, but when a truck slows down in the front, it automatically brakes your car. So you can see this in our S class and E class. It is already available as distronics and different features. But automa right now, no.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone have questions for sir? Okay, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us break for our tea, and we will be back in 15 minutes for the second session of given by Dr. Bala Muralidhara Bala Krishna. We'll start our second session after 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Umesh sir, thank you very much, sir,
Thank you, sir.
for your session.
Thank you. So I'll break out now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Guys, it's 11:27. Exactly after 15 minutes, that is by 11:40, we'll be starting with our second session of the day. Thank you. Bala sir, good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, good day, Mr. Bhushan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
So, all good, sir. Yeah. Sir, you have shared your screen on screen 1. Now, yes, you are doing it on screen 2 as well.
Yes, I'm doing it
Yes,
now.
done. And yes, it is visible on both the screens.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So
sir.
I will put up this PowerPoint slide.
Sir,
And
at the bottom, you might be seeing a stop sharing and a hide option. Just, yes, you can do it hide on hide mode. Yes.
all right.
And it is
So
visible.
yes. Okay. So is it okay now?
Yes, sir. It is fine. Perfectly fine, sir. In round about 7 to 8 minutes, sir, we'll start.
Okay. So let me on also the
Video.
video so that
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, you are visible on screen 1 and screen
Yes.
2 as well.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
All
You are
right.
there on screen 2 as well.
All right. Great. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm fine. Welcome.
Good morning, Bala, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, actually, in Malaysia, we already reaching evening.
Yes, sir. It's already evening there.
Okay, so when you are saying good morning, I feel a bit weird already. Yeah.
So in round about 15 to 20 minutes, we'll be reaching afternoon.
Yes. It's going to be 11:45 in
Right.
India. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, great.
Yes, sir. So in next 5 to 7 minutes, sir, we'll start.
Okay, you just give me a cue. I will be waiting like this, no problem.
Yes, sir. Only 5 to 7 minutes and we'll start.
Right, great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Sobia?
Yes, sir.
You are ready?
Yes.
Okay. Nazmina? Nazmin?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Okay. Just hold on for another 2 minutes and we'll start.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sobia, Nazmin, we are good to go. Please.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second session of this International Management in IT seminar. The topic of this session is Sustainable Development Goals in Technology Innovation, the Challenges Ahead. And the honorable speaker for this session is Dr. Bala Muralidhara Balakrishnan. Before I request sir to start with the session, I request Ms. Nazmeen Khan to introduce sir to our audience.
Thank you, Sobia. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. Bala Mulithara Balakrishnan sir. Sir is currently associated with University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Malaysia as Associate Professor in Faculty of Art, Computing and Creative Industry, where Sir instructs university students in the area of creative industry, supervise undergraduate and postgraduate students conducting research, consultation and development projects in education, instructional technology and media and engineering education. Sir also assists in department, faculty and university administration tasks. Sir has n number of books publication to his name and he's also been awarded by Academician Award 2015, Excellent Service Award 2015 and Top Researcher in Social Science Research 2018 and 2019. Sir has also been guest speaker in various seminars and conferences and also Sir has been the member of various editorial boards. We are honored to have you with us, sir.
Thank you, Nazmeen. Now, I would like to request Dr. Bala Muralidhara Balakrishnan sir to start with his session.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Thank you for introducing me. Today I would like to actually give a talk, some kind of a talk that I think all of us aware of. Just sometimes we may forget about this particular matter when we are actually going, basically in the development. So today's topic is on the Sustainable Development Goals in Technology Innovations, which I'm going to focus also on the challenges ahead that when we are actually moving towards in this 21st century era, we could see that what are the challenges that we may face, especially when it comes to the innovations that use technology. So that is why I chose this particular topic, as I know that most of you are from IT professionals and also some of you in the management as well. I think you will be, all right, you are or will be dealing with technology innovations greatly in coming years, because the language that we speak today and tomorrow will be basically on the technology. All right. So these are the agendas for today's presentation that I would like to touch upon. The first one will be on the Sustainable Development Goals. which is the SDG 2030. All right, that will be the first one that I'm going to discuss. The second one is the role of technology innovations, basically. So what are the roles that technology innovations playing in terms of fulfilling the sustainable development goals that is set by the United Nations? Right. The third one will be on the technology innovations, SDG 2030 framework, which I have come with an idea when we are actually dealing with technology innovations. What are the elements that we can consider upon when we are actually, when we are creating innovations, basically in the context of technology advancement. And the fourth one will be on the technology innovations and SDG 2030, the challenges that we may face and how we're going to face it. And it's a very simple analysis from the researchers that has been done. And at the same time, I'm just giving you the outline of it, all right? Because we are not going to discuss it very deep because it's going to take more time then, all right? I will also like to actually advise to anyone over here, the committee members, if you cannot hear my voice clearly or cannot see the screen or whatever it is, please advise me. All right. So do my voice is clear now over there?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
All right. Thank you. So I think let me move on to the next slide. Okay. So when we talk about Sustainable Development Goals SDG 2030, it comprises of 17 goals and 169 targets. But why we need these 17 goals and 169 targets especially? Okay, this has been set by the United Nations. And if I'm not mistaken, the United Nations themselves actually mentioned that after this COVID-19 pandemic, there are going to be another 1 or 2 more goals to be added, so that it will be more comprehensive, all right, in terms of the challenges that the world is actually facing. And the targets also going to be there, all right, the targets also going to be increased in line with the goals also going to be increased. So that is the reason things that they have been mentioned nowadays. So when we look at this particular 17 goals and 169 targets, what it is basically meant for, all right. Actually, if you can see that in earlier days, all right, we, mankind, always balance, okay, in earlier days, all right, we as a human being, we are actually trying to balance between birth and also the death. That is the only scale that we are using in balancing. Then as we progressing, you can see that we are balancing a lot of other elements, such as man and also the land, and also the food that produce. But as we are moving in this 21st century, all right, as we can see that a lot of things are actually happening around us, how our planet has changed a lot. Thus, we need to also balance with the sustainable development and also with the technology innovations that we have today. So how balance these two things? We have to see that. So that is why I'm actually quite fascinated with the question which asked by Mr. Anzir Ahmed just now with Dr. Umesh, who mentioned, he actually mentioned that does this technology of automation actually, whether it will be maybe it will be create unemployment. This is where the sustainable development issue comes here. All right, how well we control all these things. All right, so this is where again it is important as an innovators, as the technology innovators, we have to always balance these two things: the sustainable development and at the same time the technology innovations that we are created. Right. So all these things, the sustainable development goals, are basically according to the former Secretary General of United Nations, Ban Ki-moon from South Africa. He mentioned that the 17 sustainable development goals are our shared vision of humanity and social contract between the world leaders and the people. All right. So that is what is actually the SDG is all about. And at the same time, he mentioned, okay, the sustainable development goals that we have here, the SDG 2030 that we have here, is basically emphasizing that no one should left behind. Okay, regardless whether the people are from both developed and developing countries. Doesn't matter who they are from, no one left behind. That is, I think, the biggest mantra in terms of the sustainable development goals that we are facing here. All right. And basically, if you can see the SDG goals, okay, it actually have main three key aims, basically. First of all, to eradicate poverty. Second, to pursue equality. Third is to protect the planet. So that is the overall vision of this SDG. And this underlying principle is basically these three domains of sustainability. All right, the social, the economic sustainability, and the environment sustainability. So these are the three main elements which actually the underlying principle when we are actually talking about sustainable development goals. Because as you can see that the sustainable development goals is like a direction or giving us the proper target, the aim, so that we can achieve sustainable development in which it will create a sustainable world. So when we talk about the sustainable world, I think most of us just think about the environment. All right. As I can see that what happened nowadays is that everyone is a lot of big companies. Maybe let me take the automation companies. Recently, Volkswagen have introduced e-car, zero emission. The same thing goes to every single automation industry players. They are actually producing environment-friendly cars. But let us look at the other sectors, the other domains, the social and the economy. Do you think anyone here, the e-car, all right, that they have produced, this low zero emission or low emission kind of a car, is it affordable to be bought by the normal people? Is it affordable also for the every single citizen in the world to buy that particular car? That is another question that we need to ask. So when we are actually become as an innovator, we have to ask this question so that we are able to produce a sustainable world. So that is the big agenda that I'm trying to bring here. That is not only we talk about producing technology innovations, that's all, but at the same time, we have to take care of the other sectors as well, the other factors as well, so that we are not only giving sustainability kind of a lifestyle for those who are having money, all right, but it should be going for each single citizen in the world. And it must be able to benefit every single citizen of the world. So that is the main aim that we have to think about, all right, as a technology innovators, yeah. So as we can see that sustainable development and sustainability is a collective and global effort. It is not only I am from Malaysia, I have to do that, or you are from India, I have to do that, all right. It is not that only. It is actually a collective effort and global effort to achieve a better world. So this is where one question comes here, is that what is the role of technology innovation here? All right. So how this technology innovation can help for us to achieve this sustainable development, and how we can achieve sustainable development goals, all right, that we set by the United Nations. So again, sustainable development is a sustainable development which comes under the goals, basically. So the goals actually give us a better idea, a better picture. What are the factors that we can actually we can achieve? So that is why SDG 2030 has been produced, has been developed by the United Nations, so that we can have the true north or right direction on how we're going to achieve this thing. All right. So when it comes to what is the role of innovations then? in achieving sustainable development, that we are going to reach the sustainability of the planet. So we can see here that, all right, according to this Addis Ababa action agenda, which is focused more on towards on the how science and technology and innovation can help in terms of achieving the sustainable development, they have mentioned that adopting science, technology, and innovation strategies as an integral elements of sustainable development strategies. So this is very important statement that we can actually take this as our what I would say that as an important agenda for us as an innovators who actually using technology and science, so that whenever we are actually producing what kind of innovations that we have in our university or in our company or any organization, what kind of innovation that use technology, we must always remember that it must be a part of the sustainable development agenda. It must actually achieve that sustainability. All right. So if you look at here is that technology innovation should bolster the plan and actions of the SDG. It should actually support the fulfillment of the agenda. So that will be the first role that technology innovation should play. And you can see that the use of new technology causes widespread of innovations and transformation across many aspects in our daily activities. So from today, what we are doing here now is about on the technology innovation. Okay, supposedly if you have a conference, if let's say there is no pandemic, I don't think so we are doing in video conference just like this. So just because of these technology innovations, okay, we enable us to do this kind of a conference, which I am here in Malaysia and you are there in India and listening to me. All right. So this is where I think technology innovations, the very easier, I think the most easiest, okay, the easiest thing or the example which I can give you how good these technology innovations. All right. And technology innovation has already become part of our life. Okay. It's already there. Okay. Early morning, I think last time you're using alarm clock, but now the alarm is already be integrated in the smartphone. So I think all of you are actually woke up today to attend this particular talk because of the alarm that we set in your smartphone. At the same time, you have the reminder set that you have to attend Checkmate 2021. That is already been reminded and put it in the calendar, in the diary, in the smartphone. All right. So, but at the same time, we have to always think and always have to be careful in terms of this technology innovation, because it may cause risk to human and environment if it is not handled and managed appropriately. Because this has already been seen. Okay, what we are having this kind of a planet today, we can see that. All right, the climate change that happened, the global warming that happened nowadays, it is all somehow there are a few percentage is caused due to this technology innovations that is not being appropriately monitored or appropriately designed so that it can be part of the sustainability. All right. So we can see that what is happening now. So as a technology innovators, always put in your mind that, all right, that sustainability is a very important aspect. Right. So it is important for the development, for the transfer and the dissemination of technology innovation as a central to the SDG 2030. So this is where we can see that it is enable us to achieve that 17 goals and 169 targets of SDG 2030. All right. So whatever innovations that we are doing, it must actually have the proper agenda, and the agenda should be one of the agenda should be achieving the sustainable development. All right. And sustainable development goals give you the the proper picture, the clear picture in what area that you are actually trying to achieve this sustainable development. Let's say if you are in the education industry, then sustainable development goal 4, number 4, will be an important agenda for you to achieve. Okay, let's say you are running an institution. If you are a lecturer, academician, then SDG number 4 will give you a proper direction what you should achieve. All right, so that your education that you have developed, all right, could help in terms of achieving SDG 2030. So a few key, I would say that innovations only can cause harm to the human and environment. Not that. Okay, there are also good innovations are there in terms of achieving the sustainability values. For an example, we can see nowadays that we have a modern energy generation and distribution infrastructure that is we are using renewable energies nowadays in terms of getting our electricity. All right, that will be one. Then we also have a lot of good innovations that is coming in the terms of medicine and pharmaceutical businesses sector, sorry, and agricultural and marine technologies for environmental monitoring system. It is also getting progressing very well nowadays, as we can see that in helping in achieving the sustainable development of the planet. And information, the ICT technology that we are having today also enable us to bring, in achieving the sustainability. So that will be a few key innovations that I may mention here. I may left a few also, all right, or many. I may left many actually. There are which I cannot discuss all the thing today. Yeah. So these are the very important innovations that we have. All right. So basically, as I already told you, this technology innovation can help in achieving sustainability in all 3 domains of the sustainable development, which are the environment, social, and the economy. All right. So if you look at the technology and innovation, basically has been recognized as one of the key drivers behind productivity increases and a key long-term lever for economic growth and prosperity. So this comes under the social and economic sustainability. And at the same time, these technology innovations also become vital for biosphere sustainability. So this is where it also helps in terms of the environment, for environment sustainability. And if you carefully look at the sustainable development goals that has been set by the United Nations, you can see that sustainable development goal 9 and 17 focuses a lot in terms of the technology innovation. If you look at goal number 9, it focuses more on the innovation, and goal number 17 in terms of the technology transfer and the collaboration between the stakeholders. All right, as I already told you that sustainable development is not only can be achieved only by a nation or one individual. It's a collaboration, it's a collective. So that is why the 17th goal is basically looking at how the sustainable development goals can be achieved when we are actually collaborate and cooperate each other, come hand in hand in achieving the sustainability. All right, so these are the a figure that shows you, okay, show us that how the economy, the society, and biosphere, and how this is the thing is actually coming together in terms of the SDG goals. And if you look at the top, that is where the partnership for the goals are there, the 17th one. This is where it comes together, okay, all the thing. And this is, I think, this is an important, the number 17 is an important part, because without a partnership of the goals, without a collaboration and cooperation between the nations and also the stakeholders, I don't think so we can achieve sustainable development goals. Yeah. So when I'm looking at this particular current era in this 21st century, right, we do have we are actually in terms of Industrial Revolution 4.0. The automation is actually taking over human effort, which we used to put last time. All right, and we do have big data, cloud computing, autonomous, Internet of Things, IoT, and data management. This is all are the drivers of this Industrial 4.0. And how we going to have this, all right, how we going to bring this thing into the sustainability? That is where I think as technology innovators, okay, all of us, okay, we consider as ourselves as technology innovators. Maybe you are still studying, then you are the future technology innovators. Let's say you are in the industry already, or as an educator, you are the technology innovators. So whenever you are using this this particular technology, make sure that, right, that it is actually going towards the sustainable development. All right, try to balance within that. All right, so that is what this is all about. It is an important thing that we need to actually understand in the context of Industrial Revolution 4.0. All right, so in the midst of this IR 4.0, a global era characterized by the rapid advancement in new technologies and global connectivity, we can see that what is happening now. All right, as I already told you, I'm able to actually conduct a lecture here. All right, talk over here, just because of because of this global connectivity, right? And it is helped by this IR 4.0. And looking at what is happening nowadays, I think artificial intelligence now forms part of our everyday lives, optimizing and customizing what we can see, choose, and learn. Right? I think AI is actually become like a part of our life nowadays. Right? When you open your social media, AI is already there. All right. I think in everyday life activities that we are doing, AI is already there. Okay, embedded without we actually realizing it. So whenever we are using new technology, AI is already there. All right. So when there is a AI, when there is a automation, everything is actually come under the one big umbrella called the IR 4.0. All right. So we have to actually know that, right? We have to know that the autonomous vehicles, okay, drone delivery and transport is basically can transform the mobility. That is where I think it is actually can help in terms of achieving the sustainability. At the same time, AR, VR technologies, 3D printings, which is penetrating to the medical sectors, are able also in terms of helping to, helping in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals 2030. So you can see that these technologies, all right, these technologies that is come under the umbrella of IR 4.0 enable to achieve the sustainability and also achieving the Sustainable Development Goals that set by the United Nations. Yeah. Right. So as we have to know that, okay, technology is not an ultimate solution, but it holds an incredible potential to transform all sectors rapidly and globally, facilitating sustainable development. So in whatever that you are doing, okay, in whatever industry that you are, basically, you cannot run away from using technology in achieving the sustainable development, right? Somehow, you have to use that also. And we can see that even in agriculture industry, okay, even in agriculture sector, we are able to see how much we are using technology nowadays in terms of doing the cultivation of the land and so on and so forth. All right. So there are many breakthroughs are happening, which is facilitated by this IR 4.0 technology. which enables the area like healthcare, agriculture, energy, education, and mobility industry sectors to be more sustainable in terms of when they're using technology innovations with the support of this IR 4.0. All right. So this is the things that the role that plays by the technology innovations in terms of achieving the SDG 2030. So we can see here that when some people, okay, those who are actually very much hateful, okay, I would call them, they don't like any technology. They will say technology is the one is actually disrupting or disrupting the overall ecosystem of the planet. Actually, it is not that. Technology can help in terms of make the world more sustainable. So that is the message that I'm like to bring here. But just because of we are not managed it properly, not regulated properly, that is why it is become a disruption, all right, to the planet. Otherwise, if we handle it carefully, handle it, responsibly, I think we are able to make the technology as a part or the driver for the sustainability. All right. So this is